Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whatever time it is, wherever in the world it is that you are. Welcome once more to another live stream of Alexandra Mayers Live. And yet again, today we are going to continue with the page by page reading and commentary of the Bible, Modern English Version. Now, today we're going to get into Exodus 6, which actually we're going to have to backtrack a little bit into Exodus 5. We're at the point in the Bible now to where Moses and Aaron, and it's important that we note Aaron in this story because um, in a lot of the modern, especially, depictions of the story of Exodus by the mainstream media, they really focus on Moses, but Aaron was essentially his front man, his mouthpiece. He was the talker. So that's important because whenever it comes to rallying the masses, rallying the troops, because this is a story about the Hebrews, the slaves, getting out of Egypt into their own land. In other words, revolting, leaving, saying, hey, we're not going to put up with this anymore from you, Pharaoh of Egypt. We're out of here. But in order to rally the troops, you do have to have someone who's going to be charismatic, someone inspirational. And that was Aaron. That was Aaron. And God even told Moses, hey, you think you aren't going to figure out what to say, but don't worry. You have Aaron who's going to work with you. So I just kind of feel like for some strange reason, modern movie makers and illustrators and whatnot, people who create media based on the story of Exodus, that they seem to downplay Aaron. But I'm glad that this modern English version of the Bible does not, because that's an interesting story to me. It's a story of teamwork, really, when you think about it. So let's go ahead and get started. Again, this we're going to pick up from the end of Exodus 5 as we go into Exodus 6. It's subtitled God Promises Deliverance. And that's such an important message because when you're a Christian and you believe in Jesus Christ, you believe in God, you have faith in something outside of yourself that guides you and helps you. It's important to keep in mind that regardless of the trials and tribulations in your life, God's going to help you. God will help you. A lot of times, our oppressors or suppressors wear masks in our lives. You know, they can come in the form of supposed friends, supposed supportive employers who, in actuality, are trying to lead you to your own downfall or your own detriment. Unfortunately, sometimes even family members can become your oppressors. But whenever you have an oppressive energy in your life, you have to find the strength within to say to yourself and say to your higher power, you know what? I don't want to put up with this. And that's how you banish oppressive energies out of your life. And it has to be a conscious thing that you do. I've had to do that on several occasions, and especially this year. This year, as many of you who have followed me know, I completely cut alcohol and nicotine, in other words, cigarettes, out of my life. And when you do that kind of a thing, you basically do go through a sort of a rebirth. I have no more cravings or anything anymore. But I think a part of my brain that was fogged by the alcohol and the cigarettes is clear now. And I'm seeing a lot of things in my life, present and past, that just don't resonate with me, that don't work with me. So I've kicked some people out of my life and they are upset about it. But they're not welcome in my life anymore because they have been too oppressive, too hurtful, and have thought that they could get away with certain things with me that they can't. Essentially, there have been people in my life who have claimed to love me, who have essentially tried to enslave me. And that is what any sect of society contends with in a way. when they realize that they are enslaved and they want out. So that's how I feel that, that's how I relate to this particular story of the Hebrews leaving Egypt. Because when you leave someone who's oppressive to you and who essentially thinks that they control you or they own you, they're not going to want to let you go. And they're going to try to create all kinds of constructs, such as this Pharaoh has for the Hebrews, to keep them there. He's like, well, I'm just going to increase your workload and not even give you the supplies to do it. Ha ha ha. It's like, really? Really? If anything, what the Pharaoh did inadvertently drove the Hebrews to want to get away even more, because he figured that if he kept the Hebrews busy, they wouldn't have time to listen to Aaron and Moses. But they found the time. God helped them find the time. So anyway, I've been rambling a bit today. Let's continue. God promises deliverance. I just wanted to make it known that God will deliver you from anything that you are ready to be delivered from. Moses returned to the Lord and said, Lord, why have you caused trouble for this people? Why is it that you have sent me? For since I came to Pharaoh to speak in your name, he has done evil to this people. Neither have you delivered your people at all. Then the Lord said to Moses, Now you shall see what I will do to Pharaoh. For with a strong hand shall he let them go, and with a strong hand shall he drive them out of his land. Then God spoke to Moses and said to him, I am the Lord, and I appeared to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob by the name of God Almighty, and by my name, the Lord. I was not known to them. I have also established my covenant with them to give them the land of Canaan, the land of their pilgrimage, wherein they journeyed from. I have also heard the groaning of the children of Israel, whom the Egyptians keep in bondage, and I have remembered my covenant. Therefore say to the children of Israel, I am the Lord, and I will bring you out from under the burdens of the Egyptians, and I will rid you out of their bondage, and I will redeem you with a stretched out arm and with great judgments. And I will take you to me for a people, and I will be to you a God. And you shall know that I am the Lord your God, who brings you out from under the burdens of the Egyptians. I will bring you into the land which I swore to give to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob, and I will give it to you for a heritage. I am the Lord. Moses spoke to the children of Israel, but they did not listen to Moses on account of their anguish of spirit and for cruel bondage. The Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Go in, tell Pharaoh king of Egypt to let the children of Israel go out of his land. Moses spoke before the Lord, saying, The children of Israel have not listened to me. How then shall Pharaoh listen to me, as I am of uncircumcised lips? And the Lord spoke to Moses and to Aaron, and gave them a command for the children of Israel, and for Pharaoh, king of Egypt, to bring the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. So at this point, Moses is still kind of struggling with God in regards to feeling that he won't be listened to, because he did not grow up among the Hebrews. Keep in mind, as we heard in earlier chapters of Exodus, Moses was sent down the river to escape being killed by his mother, who was Hebrew. He's of the Hebrew people, but he was raised by the Egyptians. It was the Pharaoh's daughter who found him and raised him as her own child. But he will see that things will work out. So let's continue into the subsection, the genealogy of Moses and Aaron. These are the heads of their fathers' houses, The sons of Reuben, the firstborn of Israel: Hanok, Palu, Hezron, and Carmi. These are the families of Reuben. The sons of Simeon: Jemuel, Jamin, Ohad, Jachin, Zohar, and Shaul, the son of a Canaanite woman. These are the families of Simeon. These are the names of the sons of Levi, according to their generations: Gershon, Kohath, and Merari. And the years of the life of Levi were 137 years. People are still living extensive lives at this point, at least in comparison to today. The sons of Gershon: Libni and Shimei, according to their families. The sons of Kohath: Amram, Izhar, Hebron, and Uzziel. And the years of the life of Kohath were 133 years. The sons of Merari: Mali and Mushi. These are the families of Levi according to their generations. Now Amram married Jochebed, his father's sister, and she bore him Aaron and Moses. Interesting. So, you know, at this point in time, you still do have a lot of interfamily marriage, which is interesting. But even though he did marry his father's sister, which essentially would have been his aunt, um, keep in mind men were having children way, way, way into their hundreds. So she could have been younger than him. Could have been, even though it would have technically been his aunt. Um, we don't know. At least we don't know in this Bible. It's a little disturbing, yes, but it's the Bible. All right. So Amram is Moses' father. And the years of the life of Amram were 137 years. The sons of Izhar: Korah, Nepheg, and Zikri. The sons of Uzziel: Mishael, Elzaphan, and Zithri. Aaron took to himself Elisheba, daughter of Amminadab, sister of Nahshon, to wife, and she bore him Nadab, Abu, Eleazar, and Ithamar. The sons of Korah: Asir, Elkanah, and Abiasaph. These are the families of the Korahites. Korahites. Hard one to say. Eleazar, Aaron's son, married one of the daughters of Putiel, and she bore him Phinehas. These are the heads of the fathers of the Levites according to their families. It was that Aaron and Moses to whom the Lord said, "Bring out the children of Israel from the land of Egypt according to their armies." They are the ones who spoke to Pharaoh, king of Egypt, to bring out the children of Israel from Egypt. It was that Moses and Aaron. So we'll go ahead and end this particular reading there, where I fumbled up all the names. Tomorrow we will go into Exodus 7, where it gets into Aaron speaking for Moses. And that should be interesting because, again, I do find it fascinating that Moses did have a hype man. He had a mouthpiece, Aaron. And that needs to be focused on a bit more when we think about the story of Moses, at least in my opinion. Because some people think it's easy to be the one who convinces people to do a lot of things. But that can be a very, very difficult task. Very, very difficult. We're basically talking about a political event at this point in the Bible, when you really think about it, when it comes to these Hebrews having to get out of Egypt and whatnot. I can see why this particular story was very inspiring to a multitude of African Americans who made their way from the south to the north to get to free themselves, to get out of slavery in the United States of America. This story was what got a lot of slaves through a lot of really tough times in early America, when I really think about it, which is why a lot of African Americans name their children biblical names, specifically from this book of the Bible. I actually have quite a bit of family that was named after characters, or figures rather, because it's not characters, but they're figures within this book of the Bible. And as I read it aloud to many of you, I see why they were named what they were named. I see why. So, everyone, take care. Have a wonderful day today. I most definitely will. And I will talk to you again tomorrow. Bye bye.